Thanks for the support as a channel member, Henry Cheese. Well, it pretty much comes down to this. We've got two massive away games against the team that are bottom of the league, the team we're trying to chase for that last survival spot. If we don't win both of these, quite frankly, I think I'm probably going to get sacked. But form is on the way up, so fingers crossed. Make sure you leave a thumbs up for good luck. I think 2,000 likes, we're guaranteed survival. Anything less than that, we'll be relegated and it will be your fault. Hello and welcome to Club 2, Part 5 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have those two massive away games. We're away against Gillingham. We're away against POSH. Nothing's happened since the last video because you saw it. We're just waiting for these two games now. And let's just get that league table up just to emphasise exactly how important these games are. Gillingham, rock bottom. If we can't beat them, we may as well give up. But if we do beat them, we could potentially find ourselves going into that game against POSH already above them in the league if they lose their game that they're playing before then, and then we go to their place. It's so weird for me knowing that in order to save Bristol Rovers and effectively save my job, I'm probably going to have to relegate the team I support and the team I would have rather have gone to if the opportunities had presented themselves the other way around. I've also got at the back of my mind, let's go down swinging, get POSH relegated with us, and then if I do get sacked, their manager's probably going to get sacked too, and I might end up there, and it all turns out all right anyway. But that's probably dreaming a little bit. I think if I get sacked, I'm going to end up back in non-league, because I've not exactly proved myself at Football League level yet, have I? But enough waffle, let's get into the match. And this is the team we're putting out there. And we do have a little bit of a problem. We have goalkeeper trouble. Nick Townsend has an injury. He's got an injury to that bit of his leg. What's that? A tight hamstring. I mean, he's a goalkeeper. What does he need hamstrings for? Good. If it was his hamstrings, that would be different. But hamstrings, he's injured. We've got to play John Douglas, who's 18 years old, with us on loan from Manchester United. Never played a game of professional football before. This is an important one for John Douglas. Hopefully, Townsend should be back for the POSH match, but this is huge for Douglas to make his debut. He comes in. I mean, he's got one of his Man United youth teammates knocking around with him as well, Charlie Savage. So at least he's got someone that he knows. But it's still a huge game to make your debut in. So we are going with Douglas in goal, a back four of Kingsley, Lennon, Kilgore and Blass, with Clark at the base of the midfield, Bud and Savage ahead of him, Chapman and Garcia supporting Davis up front, and we're just crossing everything. We're going in with our 4-3-3 direct counter-attacking system that we've used for those last couple of games while we've started to string a couple of results together. We're currently on a 3-match undefeated run in the league, but we must beat Gillingham today. It's no good being on an undefeated run but then going and losing against the team that are rock bottom of the league and effectively already down, if not mathematically already down. They're 14 points from safety with 6 matches to go. In fact, we can relegate Gillingham today if my maths works. Is that right? I don't know. POSH are already losing against Fleetwood, which is huge. I'm cheering POSH's opponents on, and it hurts me, but Chapman's in and forces the save out the Gillingham keeper early on, and I would love an early goal here. An early goal would be spectacular. It's Kingsley, our only decent player as far as average ratings are concerned, and Chapman's free in the area, but it's a header straight into the hands of their keeper again, and Chapman's had 2 good chances already, tested the keeper twice in those first couple of minutes, but we need to pass one of these tests. One of those was a clear-cut chance. So we're already further back than we should be. We should be ahead in this game already. Clark spraying it outright to Blass, who's got Garcia as an option ahead of him. Garcia looking to get into a crossing position. He does, but the cross bounces back towards Blass, but Garcia's in again there. Squares it to Chapman, and this time, at the third time of asking, Harry Chapman scored. And look at the state of that league table. As it stands, we are not in the relegation zone. We have 6 games to go. There's your confirmation at the top of the screen. Bristol Rovers move up to 20th position. Obviously, there's a long, long way to go in this match. We do still have to go away to Peterborough as well, who, of course, will know that if they beat us at home, they leapfrog right back above us, even if things end as they are now. But that is a beautiful sight to see. is that might even be the first time since I've been here that we've been out of the relegation zone at any moment of any match. So even if it doesn't last, it's lovely to see right now, but we need to make sure we don't mess it up from here. Gillingham are getting a bit of an attack up and running, and we need to nip this in the bud, get up the other end and score another one. Kingsley looking to get exactly that going. Davis trying to beat his man. Davis charging past his man. There's no one up there supporting Davis, but he's won himself a penalty. Wonderful stuff from Davis, worth every penny of the £250,000 that we paid for him, and now steps up himself with the chance I think this would be his, did he score in the last episode? It's his second goal for us, second goal in a Bristol Rovers shirt, and 12 minutes gone, and it's Gillingham 0, Bristol Rovers 2. And this is the stuff dreams are made of, boys and girls. We're 13 minutes in. We've scored twice. We've had 3 clear-cut chances. We're playing good football all of a sudden. It's took us so long to get to this point. There have been little signs of a little bit of improvement, a little bit of fight. But it's always been, oh, we're doing all right, but then something bad happens. Chapman's got an injury, and we're probably going to take him off at half-time. We've got Benyu down on the bench who can come on and play as that inside forward on the left-hand side. But Chapman's been so important for us since signing that I don't really want to lose him. But at the same time, I want him for the Posh match as well. In fact, we're now being recommended to take him off now, so I think I will make that change now. Looking ahead to the Peterborough game more than anything, we're 2-0 up in this match already. Yes, Chapman's playing incredibly well, but I don't want to say it's job done because it's still the first half and we are still a pretty poor team and we're quite capable of throwing things away from here, but the Posh match takes on even more importance in the context of what's happening this afternoon. The other thing, of course, to mention is we're very, very close to the Kev ratio now. 39 points from 40 games as things stand. And we all know if we can get to that Kev ratio, we will be safe. So our points target is 46. If we can get to 46 points, then we won't be relegated, I don't think. Although looking at the fact that there's so many teams all on 38 points behind us, things are pretty close, and we might need to push on to 50 for actual safety this year because it's so tight at the bottom and everyone's beating each other constantly. But we'll worry about that. We're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's focus on beating Gillingham now and then focus on beating Peterborough. I'm going to stop calling them Posh. I don't want to be friendly. You know, they're the enemy today. So we're going to focus on beating Gillingham, focus on beating Peterborough United Football Club, and then see where we are from there. Team talk-wise, yeah, don't look at the scoreboard. Absolutely. What a team talk. Everyone's motivated. Everyone's happy. They're nervous and frustrated. They know they're as good as down as things stand. It doesn't actually relegate them if this is how it ends today, because I forgot that the league table at the start factors in today's game as being already played, so there'll still be 6 games to play after this one. So theoretically, mathematically, they can still survive. They ain't going to, though. There's not a chance. Gillingham are down, and they know they're down, and hopefully their heads will drop. And we know from when we were in our really poor runs of form how hard it is to lift yourself back from the sort of position they're in. That being said, they've got a goal back. I did just note as well that Fleetwood have gone 2-0 up against Peterborough, so that's important, but it doesn't really count for anything if we let Gillingham back into this game. And it's a bit of a fluky goal. It's a very tame cross, a loop-in header that kind of deceives the young goalkeeper, but we've got a bunch of nervous and apprehensive players now because they've been down this road before and they know what happens, and Gillingham are back into it. It's been disallowed. Right, we need something. We need. I don't know what we need. We need Mark Little. We need his experience. That's what we need. Our captain. He can come on. That'll be the only change we make for now. We need Mark Little, and we need a team talk. What on earth is the right team talk from here? Everyone's nervous and apprehensive. You know what? Should I praise them? This is a big shout. I am going to praise them. They're nervous. They're apprehensive. Let's say, look, lads, you're doing well. For goodness sake, don't mess it. That's not praise, is it? You're doing well. Don't mess it up. Oh, that's the greatest praise in the world. I used to be a teacher, everybody, and that's my idea of praising somebody. I'm a parent. My poor kids. Is that how all my praise sounds? Right, Gillingham have a corner, and I'm starting to get that queasy feeling where I can feel things are going wrong and I should be doing something to fix them, and I'm not. I have fired up some of the players. We have still got some nervous faces out there, notably Douglas in goal, which is the absolute last thing that we want. The young lad who's he doesn't care if we stay up or what. He's not going to be here next year, but the amount of pressure we're throwing at him on his debut is insane. Right, we've made this change multiple times this season. Agogo's going to come on. He's going to play as the ball-winning midfielder. I say we've done it multiple times. We've done it like 3 times since we've been playing this system. When we want to lock down a game, we bring Agogo on as a defensive ball-winning midfielder in midfield, just to tidy things up a little bit in midfield and hopefully secure a result. And we've got seconds left, and we have beaten Gillingham, and that is huge. You know what? I am going to say that was a Jekyll and Hyde performance, because I don't want them thinking they can get away with playing the way we played in that second half against Peterborough. Now, a lot of that is Harry Chapman not being in the team, so hopefully he's not too badly injured. Oldham obviously won at the death and have pushed us back into the relegation zone, which is very upsetting. There you go. 2 goals in the last 8 minutes for Oldham. That's what I mean. Everyone keeps beating everybody else, but we've just got to focus on keep winning the game that's put in front of us. If we beat Peterborough, we're up to 42 points from 41 games. We're ahead of the Kev ratio. There's no way that could leave us in the relegation zone. It's just not possible. Let's see how badly injured Chapman is. This could be an issue. He'll be fit for Posh. For Peterborough. Let's go play them now. Had to make 2 changes for the Peterborough game, which is not ideal. I mean, one of them is Townsend's back in goal. That's the one we wanted. But Charlie Savage is away on international duty, which is particularly frustrating because this match was moved because Peterborough had players away on international duty, but we only have one. Well, in fact, no, that's not true. We had a couple who went away to play international football over the weekend when the Posh players did. But one of our key players is still away now and not back until tomorrow. So we've had to shuffle the midfield around a little bit. Agogo comes in at the base of midfield. Clark pushes further forward. I was tempted to start with Agogo in the more defensive role in there, the way we've been ending games. But I think that's just too defensive. That leaves that gap in there that we've looked at before. It might have been when we were at Kings Lynn, we were looking at that. But there's a gap if you don't have the Mazzala pushing forward. So we're going with this for now. Obviously, it does give us the whole Bird and Clark not being able to play together issue that we had earlier in the season. But at least Agogo can play well with Clark, and there's no issues between Bird and Agogo, and that's all good. Poor old Ed Upson doesn't get a look in anymore. I mean, he's been the biggest victim of the Chapman era here at Bristol Rovers. He doesn't even get back in the team in a scenario like this. Partly because he's so desperately out of match fitness that it would just be insane to start him in a game of such importance. But because of the fact that there were teams away on the game was moved for international duty, it does mean that the majority of the teams above us have already played their matches. We don't really care about everybody from Oxford upwards. Oxford is frustrating because Oxford were down with us in the battle for a little while, and they seem to have got themselves out of it and into this next group up. So it really does look like it's going to be 4 from this group of 5 that get relegated. But importantly, Oldham played and lost. They lost away to top of the table Fleetwood, who we play next. So we're going to lose our next game. So even if we do beat Peterborough, it's just going to be a little bit of an advantage. But both us and Peterborough are going to be looking at this match, knowing that if we win it, we go back out of the relegation zone, dragging Oldham back in. A draw would actually be enough to push us up above Oldham as well. But obviously playing Fleetwood next, we know we're going to lose that one. Basically, we've got to win. It's very important that we win this football match. Agogo not fully fit, which is troublesome. I don't remember playing to Peterborough very many times in Football Manager over the years, certainly on YouTube. I've played as them a lot. There's a lot of our actual real life players still in that team. I can't believe Marcus Maddison and Ivan Toney are still there. No sign of Mo Isa though, which is good because every time I notice they're scoring in matches, Mo Isa's the one scoring. So maybe he's left, which is why they've fallen down the table. So recent form standings have them 23rd and us 5th. Let's show them why. Can we passionately do that? No. Can we assertively do that? Yeah. I mean, we are in good form. We should. I think because we're the away team, Peterborough are still the favourites for the match, but we've got the momentum with us, and you'd like to think if we are going to get ourselves out of this mess, we've got to win matches like this. And I know there's been quite a number of matches in this spell, in this managerial job so far, where I've said things like that and they've not really come off. But it feels like there's a great escape going on. We've got to keep that momentum going. There's Clark from range. What a goal from Ollie Clark. You're moving forward. He does that. Who knew he had it in him? What a goal. Peterborough 0, Bristol Rovers 1. That is a huge goal, and what a finish. They've left him in so much space. That managerial decision there, because that could have very easily been Abu Agogo sat back here playing as a defensive ball-winning midfielder, but I decided to change the personnel rather than the system, and we've been rewarded with a screamer, which has then been immediately answered by them. A fella called Cedric has got his 8th goal of the season. See, we don't have anyone who's got 8 goals this season. That's where our year's gone wrong. The fact we just don't have any goal scorers. If we do manage to stay up, it's a big deflection. If we do manage to stay up and I do manage to keep this job, the only priority I've got for the summer is to find us a goal scorer. Keenan Davis, I don't think he's going to be that man, even though we spent a lot of money on him. And we're not likely to have £250,000 to spend on a player again anytime soon, unless we sell Bud, who's probably our main sort of potentially saleable talent. At age 19, he's I think there's a chance he could go for big money at some point. I don't think it'll be this summer. I wouldn't necessarily want it to be this summer, because I think he'd be hard to replace as well. But we really, really need a striker. Keenan Davis is now going to show me that we don't. Come on, grab yourself your 3rd goal. I thought he was going to win another penalty there like he did in the last game, but it's not to be. And we go towards the half-hour mark, where we are definitely the second best team in this game, which is a little bit troublesome. And I guess priority maybe switches back to avoiding defeat, because if we can avoid defeat, which has been the basis for this unbeaten run that we're on, if we can avoid losing, then it keeps our little run going. It does take us out of the relegation zone for today, which will be the first time we end a match out of the relegation zone since I've been here. So there's a lot to be said for just getting the draw. We're going to passionately tell everybody to dig in. But obviously, if we can nick a win, not only does it push us a little bit further ahead of those behind us, but it really does make things difficult for Peterborough, because there starts to be a little bit of a gap open up between them and safety, and they get dragged back into... I mean, Newport, I would say, are almost out of it at this point. They're so far back. But the other 3 of us are kind of battling for this one safety position, and we can't afford to concede a goal here. Oy, oy, oy. We need to keep an eye on Blass, because we just got a note saying he wasn't playing particularly well. We have got Mark Little on the bench, who not only is our captain, he's a former Peterborough player. Excellent Posh player as well. I really liked Mark Little when we had him. So I'm tempted to bring him on sooner rather than later, just because of that whole motivation of playing against your former club, plus being the captain and not wanting to get relegated thing. But the advantage of keeping Blass on the pitch is he does stuff like this, because he's still young and quick and full of energy. Slot it through to somebody. Bud's there. Bud scores! It looked like he'd completely scuffed it. I was gutted when it went to him rather than Davis, but somehow it's ended up in the back of the net. I need to look at this from the other angle, because when it didn't go to Davis, I thought the move was over, especially because Bud didn't even look like he'd hit it cleanly. But in actual fact, he sort of toe-poked it perfectly past the keeper. I don't think anyone expected him to shoot. The keeper certainly didn't. I didn't. It caught us all by surprise. But importantly, we're 2-1 up. What a massive, massive goal that is. And now, again, the nervous faces start to appear. And this is where I want to be able to bring a go-go on and calm the midfield down. The only problem is he's already on the pitch and not match fit. So we've got Ed Upson. I don't really want to bring him on. Right, what should we be doing? Zane Walker, by the way, today's not the day to start bringing him into the team, but those friendlies that we were playing to give people motivation, he scored 4 goals in one of them. He's a 3-star current ability. He's doing a bit of a Mick Powell. When did he become a 3-star current ability player? But he's got 4.5-star potential. I've never given him a game. I'm wondering, Garcia's not playing very well. If Zane Walker's doing a Mick Powell... What was it? Is he a left winger? So he wants to play over there as an inside forward. Well, we could potentially stick him over there doing exactly that, and then we can play him over here as the inverted winger, which works. A go-go, I think, probably does need to come off. And we're going to bring Ed Upson on. which does put the nightmare midfield back together again. But we're going to tell Upson to be the Mazzala. I don't want him dropping back, being a I don't even know what we used to play him as in there. Perhaps he was always a Mazzala, and it never worked. This could be a disaster. But hopefully the youngster who's just come on will make up for it. We've got another good winger emerging. It's always good to have a player doing a Mick Powell, especially at a time like this. What do I say to them to motivate them to not do that? 2-2. 2-2's not a disaster. We talked about this. A draw is fine. It's not ideal, but it's fine for now. Townsend's a little bit out of position there. We have got one more substitution to use. Kingsley with an in-swinging free kick, though. The ball's bobbling around in the area, and Zane... Oh, he's offside. Zane Walker gets the ball in the back of the net 3 minutes into his... It's not his debut, but his first game for me, and that's so close. Walker looks dangerous. This is potentially an exciting moment if he ends up being any good. I think I'm going to bring on Gavin Riley to play up front. We haven't seen him for a little while because Davis has started to hit a little bit of form. But let's have 10 minutes of passion to finish things off. Yes, we've got nerves, but now they're fired up. The only one who's apprehensive is Walker. Walker needs to get on board with the passion. That's how we do things around here. They're fired up too, but I think the game's just going to peter out. And 2-2, although not ideal, we're out of the relegation zone, and that's important. So let's assertively say not good enough, because that will hopefully fire them up for the next match, which, remember, we're not going to win anyway because it's against Fleetwood. But that is hugely significant because that is the first time since I've been here, I think. Yeah, I wasn't here in October. I arrived in November. So that is, for the very first time, we're out of the relegation zone at the end of a match day, which... Hey, the board are pleased all of a sudden. Hurrah! We've just got to stay there now. Right, let's have a look at this run-in and plan what we're going to do from here. So Fleetwood, let's get the LOLLUJO view on here. Got to get a bit of a LOLLUJO view available on the Steam Workshop. Fleetwood, I would expect us to lose against. This is where we've got the 4 home games out of 5. So Fleetwood, we're probably going to lose against. Forest Green, where are they? Forest Green are beatable at home. And then we've got Port Vale and Shrewsbury. Where are Port Vale? Port Vale... a draw. Shrewsbury, we're probably going to draw or lose against, but then Newport on the last day could be massive. I think if we can get 7 points from those 5 games, I think we'll survive. Because that gets to 47 points. We've got to be looking for 2 wins and a draw minimum. So we're looking at beating Newport, beating Forest Green, and picking up a point or 2 against Port Vale and Shrewsbury. So I think what we'll probably do is we'll just come back for Shrewsbury and Newport tomorrow. I don't think you need to see these ones. I think we know how these are going to go. We're going to lose. We're hopefully going to win. We might pick up a draw. If we can get 4 points out of that run before tomorrow's episode, that would be huge. Anything less than that, it's going to be a struggle and puts a lot of pressure on us having to win both games tomorrow. But fingers crossed, we might just survive. And if we do, we then need a huge summer. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.